Hi, I'm Don Meyer,
And I'm Linda Meyer.
and we are going to talk about our new Winnebago Paseo. One thing we like about the Paseo is the way you put fuel in. So you open the driver's side door, usually when you're getting out. You open this little flap, and then there's no cap. The fuel nozzle just goes right in, and it's really convenient. Doesn't seem like it's a big deal to not have a cap, but after you've done that a little while, it's really nice to have that feature. So one of the things that's nice about these doors, they open nice and wide. You do that, but if you want them even wider, you just press this little release, and this door pivots back like this. And if you walk around and look back here, you can see that even with the ladder there, it just misses. So even with the ladder on, you can open the door that wide, have it totally out of the way of your back view. We've got some storage back here. Down here is we've got our sand mat. And behind that we've got a chair. This is a chair that is kind of small, doesn't have arms, but it fits underneath the back there. We do have a larger one with arms that does not fit. But you can see that if you have a chair similar to this, it will fit in the back of the RV. Alright, you can see we've got some bags here. These are full of like bed linens and pillows and things. Those fit there. There's a lot of storage in the Paseo, but as soon as you start putting big pillows and blankets and such, that storage runs out pretty quick. So this is light, it sits here, it can be there when we're traveling, and we put it where we need to put it when we're doing things. One of the things that's really nice is if you're sitting back here or sitting back here, there is a screen that comes down. And now you have a nice screened off area that you can sit in, still see the outside, still look at the nice view, but you've got a screen that keeps the bugs out. The screen works very smooth, very efficiently. Okay, so you have this nice full-length running board. One of the drawbacks of that, though, that we discovered with our dogs getting in and out is that there's this gap right here that a dog's paw can get stuck in. So we're going to try to come up with something to cover that. You might want to cover that with a rug, or we're going to try to build some little plug to put in there. Kitchen is right here, as you can see. Up here you've got all the controls for everything, which is really nice. Like having that all in one spot.
So when we first started looking at the Paseo, and we kept getting pictures and videos, and we saw this area, we were perplexed as to what we would do with it and what it's for. We were able to use it nicely for some hanging of utensils, and the wine glasses fit nicely, and it becomes like a cute little cabinet with mirrors and lights.
Fair amount of drawers. We're pretty happy with the storage space. We've got a lot of stuff stuffed in here, and there's still room available. Down here is a good spot for things like a couple trash cans that might be overkill. One of those is for recycling. We'll see how that goes. We'll just show you some of the cabinets and what's in them here. So it's got a roll of paper towels. We still need to put a paper towel holder, probably right here. Some snacks and things up there, and some bowls. Back here in this cabinet, we've also got a lot of stuff kind of swirled away in there. You can see this bottom one is divided in the middle. The top one runs all the way through, but there's a lot of space in general. One of the things I really liked about the Paseo was the refrigerator and freezer. This is a Nova Cool that runs on 12 volts and 120 volts. Does not run on propane, which to me was a feature because you don't have to deal with all the propane stuff, worry about being level, all the extra vents outside. This is really much more modern in my opinion. I really do like it. It's nice and large. You can see how much room there is in here. This fits a nice thing of lemonade. You can fit a half-gallon container of milk in there just fine. And then for the freezer, there's also plenty of room in the freezer. You can see you've got some ice cube trays in here. Got some of these bins that we bought down here. Those are on our website. and really just plenty of room in the freezer and the refrigerator. Okay, this is kind of the, if it was a sailboat, I'd call it a hanging locker. It's got some hangers, place to hang stuff. You can see we've got a couple jackets and shirts in here. There's a ton of room behind it, which is probably kind of hard to see, but you can see there's a bunch of little storage cubbies kind of back behind it, filled with things. There's also the extension for the bed right there. Down here, got a couple drawers. This one is going to get filled with clothes. There you can see there's some socks and things in there right now. Pretty exciting. Down here, this has kind of become our junk drawer. We'll see how that goes, but this is where all the remotes and our temperature monitor we got for the refrigerator freezer, and you can see it's reading pretty high because we don't have it on right now. But all that stuff kind of lives. We don't need a lot of detail in here because it's basically our job.
So one of the things that we really like is the size of this table. It's been very functional and it's been very useful for us. We've been able to, as you can see under here, been able to put the storage of our linens and such down here and still have great feet room if we're sitting across from each other and at eating dinner or whatever.
I want to talk about the shades actually. So these are the shades on the windows. These work really smoothly, really well. They're totally quiet when you're, when they're in place. They don't rattle around or bang around because they're shades. They move very smoothly. And actually the Winnebago literature says like insulating or something. And that seemed to be true. These did a good job of keeping it warm in here. I felt like they definitely kept the temperature a little better by trapping some of the air between the glass and the shade. This one has a screen, which you would need if you open this window. Which to do that, you just do that and pop it open. Since these are the actual factory windows, the good news about that is that they're nice and reliable. The bad news is, they don't open really far, although that should be enough. And if you really need airflow, well, that's when you open the screen on the back of the RV. And easy to close. This is the stereo and this is the TV. These both run off 12 volts DC. This does play DVDs and CDs. It is not a Blu-ray player, just FYI. So if you have your Blu-rays, they're not going to work in this guy. But that's okay, because if you look at this screen, I mean, it's not huge. It doesn't really demand Blu-rays and high def, although it is a decent enough little screen. Again, I'm going to open this. That one's pretty boring. There's nothing in it. Back here, there's a little bit of stuff up there. This is some shelf liner stuff that we need to still put in.
You can see all the way back what they've done with this model is that they've made little use of the actual cavity of the van and giving you a little bit more space in the back of all of these cabinets, which has been kind of nice. You can fit things a little bit longer in there.
So one of the things I really like is the placement of the USB charging ports. So there's one up here, and that's really nice because if you have someone riding back here, they tend to ride on the opposite side, and this can kind of come down. Or you can have something plugged in, put your phone or something up here on this little shelf. That works really well, so that's a good position for that actually, in my opinion. And then over on this side, you've got this one, which also lets you take, and at night you can kind of set stuff up here. This kind of becomes your nightstand when you're sleeping, and you can have your phones charging right there as well. So this extra little cushion area is nice. It does a couple things that we've discovered. One is on this side, getting in and sitting down makes it much easier to get in and slide over to the table. There's kind of nothing in your way. This side's a little more crowded with the TV and the wall. The other thing that's nice about this is when you turn this into a bed, this little portion here, especially if you take this out, which we do, this little portion here was a really nice little place for one of our dogs to sleep. So had a dog sleeping here, as long as you don't mind a dog sleeping by, your pillow, that worked really well for that. So one of the things we really like about the Paseo is the lighting. So if you look at the lights in the ceiling, they're this kind of racetrack style. They're very spread out, it's very diffuse, but they're really not much in the way of shadows. It does a nice job of cutting down on shadows. And these also, most of the lights in here have two brightness settings. So off is in the middle, and then you have kind of a high and low brightness. You can do that here. If you look up at this one, you can kind of see that that's the low brightness and that's the high brightness. So I think Winnebago's done a really good job on the lighting. There's lights under the cabinets, above the cabinets. There's just so many lights.
And even inside, the lights shine through the holes that they've made inside, so you can actually see the stuff in your cabinets. It's nice.
Okay, so this door also has some very nice screens. So if we open this, we can then take and slide this screen over. This door works very smoothly, really nice and solid. Got a little screen here that closes that portion off. The reason you need a separate screen here and the reason this is open is if you have the door closed, the only way to reach that handle to open it from the inside is through this little gap. And with this screen, it's pretty easy to do that. Reach in, pull it open. Not a problem at all. To turn this into a bed, it's pretty straightforward. You get these cushions out of the way. Do that. Lift the tabletop off. Set it over here for a second. Pull this post out. There's a storage place under here for it. A lot of times we'll just put it, you know, on the floor right there because we're not walking there and it doesn't block anything. This is the cold air intake for the Truma, so you don't want to block that, but this post doesn't really block it. You know, I guess while we're looking down here, I'll point out this is not a USB charger. This is a 12-volt power point. So you do that. Take the table top. You put it here. A little chunk of tabletop. Whatever these are made out of, they're hollow. They're some sort of. So I mean, this is not nearly as heavy as you would think it is. By looking at it, it's pretty light. Do this. Slide this cushion over. Put this cushion here. The same thing on this side. Slide this cushion over. Put this here. Ta-da! It is a bed. I can comfortably lay in. If I had a pillow, this would work better because your head's kind of propped up a little bit. But there you go. It's a bed. There's my feet. I'm about 5'10". And if I try not to put footprints on the bed, into the bed here, but this works pretty well. These are nice and padded and soft and warm. And if it's nice weather, except for bugs, you just pull this down. Can't really pull all the way down from up here. Maybe I can. There we go. And now you can sleep on your nice comfortable bed with this all wide open. Cushions are really pretty comfortable. We've been pretty happy on this bed. We've spent several nights on it at this point. I'm going to turn it back into the table. It's definitely easier if you take these cushions and prop them up. So if you don't, the tabletop tends to get caught on them a little bit, and that doesn't end well. Do that.
I'll hold that.
Okay, thank you. Just put this post in here. Take this, pick it up. The trickiest part is finding the center there. I think I did. Ta-da! It's a table, put the cushions down, etc. Go.
I want to thank you for joining us on a walkthrough of our new Paseo.
We've tried to focus on things that we have personal experience with from our driving and our nights spent in it. There are other videos available from Winnebago and Lichtsinn that have a lot more details as well. So that's going to do it for us.
Bye. What's our outro?
That's our outro is, you know, that's it for us. We'll be muddling through.
Oh, well, that'd be perfect. Why didn't you do that? Now we have to do this all over again.